can go ahead and start the meeting. We're going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We're going to begin with prayer if you'd like to join us. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for the chance to be here tonight, and we ask that you would just be with us here, lead us and guide us as we make decisions about this school and this community. And please bless everyone involved here, bless the students, the teachers, all of the staff, all of the community, all the parents. And in Jesus' name we pray.
Amen.
The first thing I'm going to do is ask for an approval of the agenda. I have a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll make a motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
At this time, we're going to open it up for public comments on the agenda. And no public comments, we'll move on to, I need an approval of the March meeting minutes and the financials. Do I have a motion to approve? I'll make the motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
We're approving RTV James Tungate. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Move on to approving elementary para Gabriella Franklin. Do I have a motion to approve? I'll make the motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Move on to approve Sarah Johns as the middle school math and science teacher.
I'll make a motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Galen, did you want to speak on
Yep,
that?
I sure do.
Just so
But-
that way we.
It's going to wait till the end, or we'll do it now. So, board, the idea, what we've got, I feel like our middle schoolers are getting lost right now in grade 7, 8. They don't really have a program for them. And so, speaking with Ryan, speaking with Jim, speaking with our guided coalition, speaking with our leadership team, like what can we do for our students in grades 7 and 8? And so, one of the thoughts, and this will be down later, is for you to consider, not to approve tonight, but later, unless you're really gung-ho about it, is to move into a middle school concept of grades 6 through 8. So it'd be a hybrid between the high school, where the high school they switch every period and go, because in high school you worry about credits. In K through 8 you're not. You're worried about content. And so we felt like our kids are getting shorted in the middle school in terms of content. So the concept here. Sarah Johns is a fantastic teacher, in any realm, wherever she's at. But her strength is in math and in science. And so our plan for next year, moving forward to this, is to create a middle school block for our grade 6, 7, and 8, where Sarah will work with 2 blocks of kids for 90 minutes, back-to-back periods of science and math. At the same time, when her kids are in getting science or science and math, the other group of students are getting English and social studies for like back-to-back blocks. So 2 90-minute blocks, and then they switch. So they'll have, that's 3 hours of really intense instruction in social studies, science, math, and language arts. So that's the intent, is to combine students and give our middle school students a real intense learning environment. So it's not high school where you're going from period to period, but it's not elementary either where you're staying with the same teacher all day long. But we felt like going back-to-back periods, and again, tonight's just an introduction, and I want to introduce these things to you. But either way, whether we do the middle school concept or don't, we feel like we need to bring in staff for our students. So.
It's basically adding a position.
Mhm.
That's kind of
Yes.
what I wanted
Yes.
everyone to know, that we haven't lost someone, we're adding people.
Correct. Yes, we're adding a position. We feel like the smaller class size, we have almost 30 kids in grade 6, and so breaking those kids into smaller cohorts, we feel like we can focus and be more intense when it comes to our instruction.
We'll move on to approving April Buck as middle school language arts teacher for 26-27. I'll make the motion. In a second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Move on to approving Kelly Frey, 4th grade teacher for 26-27 school year.
I'm Motion.
Do I have a second?
A second.
All those in favor? Aye. I guess I kind of jumped ahead having to do that, but back to the middle school realignment.
Yeah, so what are your thoughts, I guess, as we introduce it tonight, the concept of we could do a realignment where we have pre-K to 5 for the elementary. The middle school concept would be grades 6 through 8. Middle school then would be with our high school. We go into the high school. Really, what it would be moving our 6th grade into a high school concept. Right now, it's pre-K to 6, but really, it's by name is what it is in terms of. But what we do is programming. So if you want to name it that's one thing. Just something to consider, something we can talk about as we go along. But so that would be the middle school realignment. My recommendation would be go elementary K to 5, and then go middle school 6 to 8, and high school 9 through 12. I think that gives the middle school kids their own focus, their own time. Because oftentimes in middle school, the kids get lost. We joke in the superintendent ranks, we just don't want the kids to fall backwards in middle school. You know, they're 5'4" with size 13 shoes, and one day they're 10, and the next day they're 18. It takes special staffing within that realm, so we want to focus. We really want to beef up that area. I think that's going to be great for our kids in that area. So that would be my recommendation. We're open for discussion. What's your history? What are your thoughts?
Our 5th, 6th grade used to trade classes, and I wanted that. I've been wanting that for a number of years because I feel like that's part of the reason why when they would get to junior high, it was a huge adjustment. But when, in 5th and 6th grade, you just switched from math and English, that was at least like you got used to it. So I think that sounds fine. And our 6th graders spend a lot of time with the 7th and 8th for sports anyway. So it would make sense to have them all together, especially since they're playing on the same teams most.
I think it's positive change and something to look forward to, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I think if it works well, we might look at 5th grade in the future because like Christy said, we did that as 5th graders and it lets the teachers kind of focus on their specialty area a lot of times because a lot of times you are like a math science person or a language arts history person. I mean, I think a lot of teachers prefer to do things that during that.
I did.
You did that.
I did language arts and history.
Are all of the teachers on board with doing it?
Yeah. So that's why Sarah wanted to do it right away.
Yeah.
She was excited about it.
Go ahead and, yeah.
Okay. But you brought up an interesting idea because that's a big cutoff line is that grades 4 or 5. There are many schools where we went 5 through 8. Our thoughts were 6 through 8. So I didn't explore that further. Because we talked about switching grades 4. Once this got rolling with staff, the grades 4 and 5 started talking about it as well.
Is there a way that our 5th graders could stay in the elementary, but just switch for math and English?
That's the thought. That's what our plan is.
Yeah, leave them in elementary.
Like you said, strengths of the teachers.
It seems like when I was in school, Anderson High was a neighborhood school. Their middle school was 6th, 7th, and 8th. When I remember.
Yeah, I think a lot of them.
Yeah, that's what.
It's like drivers always.
Yes.
They might even have 5th grade in there.
Yeah.
I don't know what grades that's on. I think it's 6. Isn't it around 6? They're moving to the building.
Yeah, this, I don't know, I think so.
Do we also have enough space in classroom wise?
That's good. Yes, we have the space. We're good. But once we do this, then Jama's shaking her head, like rolling her eyes, like, okay, am I gonna have to move? That's the biggest
She
thing.
volunteered
Teachers.
for our classroom in the courtyard.
Did she? Okay. Put that. Yeah. I've had number 2. Don't make me move. Don't make me move.
So we have
That.
to do here to do that.
So it'd just be a recommendation that we would go pre-K to 5 for the elementary, grades 6 through 8.
Yeah,
middle
for
school,
now.
And then 9 through 12.
See how it
Middle
works.
school. So that would be the recommendation.
Well, I like to recommend 6 through 8. And then we'll discuss later on with the 5th grade what we need that. Okay.
Is this going to help our accountability framework?
Yes.
Because of the advanced coursework that's required and going to get us points, right?
Yes,
So that's,
exactly.
okay.
Mhm.
That's what I thought is
Yes.
probably part of this. But
Yeah.
Stacy was mentioning something about that to me the other day, that
Mhm.
if we can get these junior high kids getting the advanced coursework, we can get
Yeah.
higher score on that.
And let me be clear to the public, to everyone, there have not been accountability measures since 2019 in Indiana, where the legislators have held harmless schools since 2019. And if you know about our case, it came back saying, well, you were named because of accountability measures. There are no accountability measures. They are now putting in an A2F system in Indiana, which it's not great. The only problem with assigning grades is that you have to have someone who grades them. And so that's going to be the trick. That was the problem last time. Who's going to grade it? You know, if you're an English teacher and you hand out 120 assignments, 10-page essay, you now just assigned yourself 120 assignments of reading 10-page essays. And that's what's going to happen with the grading system as well. We went to Newcastle training on this. It's a great concept, great idea. There's some glitches in it, but at least the schools know how to play the game. And once there's a scorecard, then school boards and administrators, teachers, and parents, then we'll know how to play the game. We'll know what the rules are, and we'll know how to play those
When
games.
everybody's held to the same standard,
Mhm.
and then that's fine.
Mhm.
So, did someone want to second going ahead? I'll second Jeff's motion. Okay, all those in favor? Aye. Move on to discussing school hours for next year.
Okay, so teacher hours are the same. One of the things we talked about with this year, we put in 20 minutes in the morning for walking and just for activity. And so I have elementary kids in the gym with me, and even high school kids playing basketball and walking and the social part of that. And so the kids are engaged in the mornings. Next year, we want to cut that back a little bit, just for feedback and just from what we've seen. We'd like to start school by 8:10 next year. So the buses would still come at the same time. Everything would be the same, 8:10. And then right now, our dismissal at 3:05, we want to push that back 5 minutes as well to 3:10. That's for the high school. That gives the high school kids just a couple more minutes per period, again, with the instructional focus on there. So our official hours next year would be 8:10 to 3:10 when it comes to students. Teacher hours are 7:30 to 3:15. It's the same. So we're still within those constraints. But just in terms of the end would be the difference. Would be an extra 5 minutes at the end of the day. But that allows our high school to have an extra 2 to 3 minutes if we add those in per period, which is some of the feedback we've got from staff on those things. So that's just wanted to open that up for discussion. Any thoughts for that before publishing?
So what is the walking right now is what time period?
Kids come in the morning. The kids come in the morning. They go to their classrooms. They put their coats, book bags away, and then those that eat breakfast go eat breakfast. Those that don't, they're out in the hallway with friends. Movement engages the mind and gets the kids going for the day. And we've had a lot of success with that. Our problems are a lot less when kids are moving, and so that's worked out really well for us. And the kids, in terms of when your feet move, your body is engaged, your mind is engaged, it gets you going for the day. For kids, it's like coffee. For adults, so it gets them going. It does get a little long in the morning. The 20 minutes was a little bit ambitious, and so we want to cut that back a little bit. I think that will get us in the classroom a little sooner and get us ready.
That's actually where I was going with that, because I just read an article where they had looked at different exercise timeframes, and 1 minute out of every, I don't remember, it was 30 minutes or 40 minutes was actually the most beneficial.
Mhm.
They would get the kids up and jump for 1 minute.
Yep.
So I don't know if that's something
That's
we
great
could look
info.
at.
Yeah. But we feel like by 8:10, everyone is pretty much situated for the day. And so
So 8:10 is when they'll actually be in the classroom.
in classroom, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So bus routes, those things wouldn't change. Everything would stay the same. But at the end of the day, we push back 5 minutes.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve?
Make a motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
All right. Who made that motion?
Yeah.
Okay.
Would that be getting rid of homeroom for high school or keeping
This what?
it? Was that getting rid of homeroom for high school or keeping it?
Are we keeping that? No, that's, yeah, so we're adding more, we're getting rid of homeroom and
So
adding
they'll
more,
add more to.
add more to the classroom.
Is that
That's right.
okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah, because, yeah,
We should have asked
We-
before.
we want
voted
to-
on that.
the premium, just like the most one, the premium on instructional time. That's the premium. And the great thing is teachers are the ones that are asking for it, so that's a great thing. Yeah. Mhm.
So moving on to alumni dinner.
Just want to publicize, one of the big things here at Union is the springtime alumni dinner that we're all invited. That's May 9th at 6 p.m. here at the school. So if you're listening and want to attend, please contact us, and invitations have been sent on that as well.
Did you have any other updates that you want to give before we adjourn?
Want to appreciate the response when it came to the yard signs. We have ordered more. Probably haven't ordered enough on that as well. We put in for the tag dollars board, and we paid a little bit out in the fall, but then we put in for tag the actual, because they moved it this year, and we received a substantial amount. So we'll be go ahead and disperse that coming up here soon. Then also, just so the community is aware, we have just started a daycare committee. Hopefully starting to get daycare here for next year as we start to look at daycare, start to look for housing for our younger families, trying to build our community. And then also, board, there's a spring carnival coming up here soon. And the inflatables and food trucks and those kinds of things that's coming up here soon. And before we know it, 22 days left now of school. Graduation will be right around the corner. So our seniors leave Sunday for our senior trip. And I got a ticket. I'm going to go with you for a day or two. So I didn't get to go last year with kids, so kids want to go this year. I'm going to go down for a day or two. And so that goes. So, but our spring sports are often running and hitting and whatever it might be. And just really proud of everyone how they've hung together this year. But it is time for really people to hear our story after spring break and really start before we get into the election and into the summer. It's time for people to know how what's going on here in Union. So.
Does anybody have anything else? If not, I'm going to ask for a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion.
Have a second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.